Thanks for tuning in to Cop with Critic. I'm Brian Koppen. We're with Critic Aug Stone. Aug Stone, how the hell are you?
Doing all right, Brian. How you doing?
Good. Well, we follow you. You're on the www.instagram.org.com.gov, and it's Aug X Stone. It sounds like there's a putz sitting on Aug Stone who's not using it much.
No, this has been like over a decade now, and I've messaged them to try and get it because I am Aug Stone on every other account. But man, sometimes,
Maybe he's dead.
I think it
And
was a young lady, and I don't
oh
wish her dead,
no,
but I wish she'd just check her
yeah,
Instagram once and let me
dude,
have it.
dude, I'm gonna offer you $3 for your Aug Stone. I think you're
Seriously,
dead,
$3
but
is a lot of money.
that's a lot of money. Yeah, there's Ogstone on X or Twitter, and then also Blue Sky, which I always call Blue Ski. And so Ogstone is there. And is that where you're putting all your writing, or are you also putting it on your link tree, which is also Ogstone or ogstone.com, your website?
Yeah, I put it on everything. Just copy and paste it, take 5 minutes and do that.
Yeah.
Mostly on Substack.
Oh,
That's
good.
what I'll do first because you can write a bit longer about it and quote the piece and whatnot.
Yeah, that helps. I'm a big time quoter. And so what we're doing for all Hall of Fame Face Off is we each pick seven Rock Hall of Fame music artists and a song from each. And I'll go first. That way you can kind of, if I have a strong song, you can take the easy way out and put up a weak song. Or if I have a weak song, then you can go ahead and trump it with your trump or your ace card or whatever you call it. Let's first do Mamas and the Papas, Creek Alley. What do you think about that? And what song are you facing up against it?
I'm just gonna go in order, I think. I'm gonna put the Ramones Come On Now up against that.
Yeah, so tell me kind of I went through the Ramones song and I got through it and I was like, I wonder why Ogstone picked this Ramones song out of all others. So answer that question.
It just hits me in the right way. It's weird because this wasn't on Ramones Mania. It's never been on a greatest hits, but it's awesome. I love it. It's super catchy. It's got that feeling that you want rock and roll to be. Come on now, let's have fun.
Yeah, I was
Parents are
trying to,
away, let's have a party.
yeah, I think I was trying to I discussed this in another episode. Who today is kind of giving that same fun vibe as the Ramones did, if you know. Is there anybody?
Oh, God, that's a good question.
Trying to
Um,
think.
we could
It's
use
like
some fun
the
bands.
recent episode had Cyndi Lauper, and it's like she was fun while being edgy, and I'm like, that's great. And so who's a contemporary one? And I'm trying to think, um, somebody in pop music. I suppose Charlie SCX recently put
Okay.
out that companion album, and then she has a song with Billie Eilish about the color of her underwear. So there you go.
All right.
It was
The
pretty
new
aw
Ramones.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome in that. Yeah, the modern day Ramones. And so were you able to listen to Mamas and the Papas? What do you think about them? What do you
I,
think about Creek Alley?
I do know that song. It's not one of my favorites of theirs. That line about, Mama Cass getting fat is awful.
Yeah,
They repeat it multiple times.
yeah, I will say that. I think I walked in on my dad watching a documentary on the Mamas and the Papas, and they were doing live versions of that. And I think in the live version, they say everybody's getting fat except Mama Cass. Because I think the
Oh,
other girl was like, I won't sing that. I'm not going to sing that in concert. Like,
oh,
no
good
one's
for
getting fat
her.
except Mama Cass, so it's fat shaming and it's awful. But I think what I will say is it's an interesting song full of Easter eggs about other Hall of Fame or other rock artists at the time, and it's very catchy as long as you're singing the live version. Everyone's getting fat except Mama Cass, but you're right to reject it, and that's why I put it first. It was my sacrificial lamb. It's a great song except for that problematic lyric, so you won that one. Now go ahead and
Excellent.
pick your song out of the others non-Ramon songs that you have.
All right, my next one up was Def Leppard's Photograph. Um,
Yes, Mutt Lang.
yeah.
Was Mutt Lang around at that time?
He was. This is from Pyromania. This is right before, Hysteria with well, not right before because it took 4.5 years to make Hysteria, but like, Pyromania, I think it was their first time working with them. And Photograph is just, nonstop hooks, even the
Yeah,
guitar solo.
yeah,
It's just I remember it from growing up, seeing the video. He's got the Union Jack shirt on, and it just, it's what I want pop music to be. Like, I mean, it's rock, but it is a great pop song.
no, no, I'm just like you. I think I'm always saying that things like "Got the Life" by Korn is one of the best pop songs, right? Even
Oh, I
though
don't
it's
know that
very
one.
it's very rocky. Yeah, and so like Photograph, the hook is just totally pop, and pop has to do with things like dynamics and volume swells and things like that. And of course, Def Leppard and Mutt Lang had that in spades. So Hysteria was the next one with what that was huge, like Rocket and Women, etc., and Animal.
Pour Some Sugar on Me, Armageddon It. They had 7 singles off it
Oh my
because they wanted
gosh.
to top Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it's like they could have spread them out a little bit more. But I actually read a book and reviewed a book recently that was the life, how to live your life according to Def Leppard.
Oh wow, I need that book. I need
Yeah.
it now.
Oh no, and it was great because it kind of it talked about the stuff they went through, the adversity they went through, but also the fact that they all always, strove for the perfection standard. And I suppose consistent with that is not spreading out 7 singles, just putting them all out on Hysteria, which was just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
my best friend and I met up in Vegas actually in 2013, and I reviewed this show for The Quietus. I got to interview Joe Elliott, which was fantastic.
wow.
Um, but they were doing a Hysteria residency where they played the entire album, but they also opened for themselves as Dead Flatbird, the world's premier Def Leppard cover band.
That's
And
hilarious.
they played like 6 songs off Pyromania on that, and like all the early hits, like one off Adrenalize. Then they went into all of Hysteria, and then they ended with Photograph and Rock of Ages. It was an awesome show.
How do you open for yourself? Like, how is it different? You're playing your hits, I guess.
Yeah, well, it wasn't all hits, but it was some deep cuts. I think they had like shorter stage space. They definitely dressed a little differently and stayed in character as members of Dead Flatbird.
Ah, that reminds me of Blue Jean Committee. Have you seen that documentary Blue Jean Committee, which is Fred Armisen and Bill Hader?
I have not,
Okay,
but I
so it's
like
just
those
like,
guys.
oh yeah, it's just like like the Eagles, like an Eagles documentary, how they, got along great, and then they had a falling out, and they had all these talking heads like Chuck Klosterman and the girls from Haim, and even Daryl Hall and all these people, and it was just the funniest fucking thing. You can see it on YouTube. Well, I'm gonna put up something against it that I know will lose because Photograph is just the most powerful hook known to man, and that is, I love it but it's got Michael Jackson in it, so it's probably going to lose. Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Scream, two Hall of Famers for the price of one. What do you think about Scream?
It's good. I actually hadn't heard that song before.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I liked it. It was good. It's weird because like when you collabs like that, especially two superstars, like they're never as good as you want them to be. Like even if it's, awesome,
You're
like,
like, yeah, I want more of
you're
my person in there. Why isn't my person going second?
well, I think it's more you're thinking this should be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
This is the first time they're collaborating. And it's not that, but it is a good pop song. I mean,
Yeah.
it's no Photograph.
Yeah, wait, that's
But
true. Yeah, yeah, but you're right though. That I do like it because it's pop, but you're also right that it's not each of their best songs. Like if I put forth a Janet Jackson song, it's not going to be Scream, but I'm happy to do it for Michael Jackson just because I'll probably, do a couple songs from him in a future episode. But Michael Jackson will always lose just because of certain accusations, and I'll stay away from that 100%. All right, so let me.
I like this one too because, as I mentioned, Mutt Lange wanted to beat Michael Jackson's singles by releasing 7 singles off Hysteria. So having them go up
Gosh,
against Def Leppard is a nice little touch in this
that
episode.
dude, Shania Twain had to put up with that dude, huh? Was she married to that guy?
She was. I love Shania Twain.
Yeah, but it's also like, my
I
Lord,
almost
like.
crashed my car once listening to like singing along to Up. I was just so into
Oh,
it.
oh, thank you for admitting that. I love that. But wouldn't it suck just being like, it seems it happens a lot where like somebody like the guy from Interpol, who's that guy, Paul Banks, he's dating Helena Christensen, who's a supermodel, their ex-supermodel. And you're like, yeah, yeah, it's cool. I'm dating a supermodel. Who was your ex? She used to date Michael Hutchins from NXS.
Oh wow.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, gosh, the higher you climb, man, the more competitive it is, even though he's dead. So, but
Are
yeah, so
NXS in the Rock Hall? I think I almost chose one of their songs.
Really? Oh, yeah. I mean, they could be. It's just kind of sad if they're in, and like somebody like, the Smiths and the Pixies aren't in.
That's true.
Let
They
me
were
go.
huge.
Wait, say that again.
They were
Oh,
huge. And
NXS?
yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's such a great sound, too. I don't know who
Oh
produced their
yeah.
stuff. Let's go with, let's go Ruth Brown. The Little Girl's Gone Rockin'. I just kind of dove into people's catalog to see if there's anything good, and I found this for Ruth Brown. What did you think of it, and what are you facing off against it?
I like this song. I had never heard of Ruth Brown before. I love stuff like this. The guitar parts were cool too. It's fun. It's under 2 minutes, which I really love. I have a couple
Yes.
songs that are 2 minutes long in this.
Yes. Like
Um,
yeah, I mean, you have a 2 minute song. I don't know if you're going to mention it, but I was like, see, if you have a song this good, it doesn't have to go over 2 minutes because we just
yeah,
covered a Cyndi Lauper song, which was great for 3 minutes, but the last 2 minutes, it's like you could have cut this off, dude. I mean,
yeah,
I hope the radio had it with three minutes, not 5 minutes.
yeah. And
Yeah,
I love how on those early rock and roll songs, like Rockin' was just boning. Like that's You know, no one had any shame about that.
Dude, I'll have to go back and look through it. I just presumed she was talking about rocking, but I mean, or partying anyway. But you think it necessarily involves boning?
Well, I mean, that's where rock and roll comes from, doesn't it? Like, it was
I mean,
slang for
yeah.
sex.
Was Ruth Brown, was she, did she like to bang or did she like
Uh,
to rock or who was writing it for her? Must have been
yeah,
a
I'm not going to
dude.
put any, words in Ruth Brown's mouth, but
Yeah, it's like Ruth is like, no, I was a saintly virgin. And the guy's like, yeah, but I wrote it for you and I really wanted to date you. Yeah, so what song are you going to face against Ruth Brown?
I'm going to go with Sly and the Family Stone's "Everyday People." I'm just
Gosh,
going in
what's
order because I think that's
Oh
good.
yeah, you're going. Yeah,
But
so I'll have to kind of realize that. Yeah, Sly and the Family Stone, Everyday People. I listened to it, and it's a great song. But when you think about it, I think Sly is his last name Stone. Sly Stone was probably if he is Everyday People, I don't know who is abnormal. Right? You're
that
like
is,
you'd have to be
oh,
like George Clinton. That guy's weird. Like Sly Stone would be like that guy's weird because I think I remember. I looked it up. I thought it was Slash memoirs, but it was Duff McKagan memoirs from Guns N' Roses, and he was talking about how later in life he lived near Sly Stone, and he kind of was a junkie at that time, and that's why Duff McKagan, after his liver or pancreas exploded and got sober, I think he was much smarter about health and money and things. But yes, I don't know that Sly is everyday people, but he was singing about everyday people.
that's a fantastic point. I had not thought of that before. To me, this is just an incredible song. It's just, again, nonstop hooks. It's really just great feel, major key. It's not my favorite Sly Stone song, but I don't know. There's just something universal about it, as implied by the title.
Yeah, what is your yeah? Because I was about to ask you what another Sly Stone song you like.
Everybody is a Star is my favorite because I remember my mother playing that a lot when I was like really little. Like, and that's how I got into music was like
Oh,
through her 45s and Beatles albums. And that was one she always played. She loves that song. And whenever I hear it, it makes me think of like, well, my mom and also, being exposed to this incredible thing of music and records and how exciting that was. And
yeah.
also, it's a beautiful song.
Well, I'm gonna have to check it out. But also, that's why you became a star in the music critic firmament.
Well,
But
thank you.
but yeah, it's all yeah. For me, it was my dad. I was always rating his collection. So some of this stuff, like the Elton John song I'll talk about next, that was from his collection. So let's do Dusty Springfield's "Stay a While" for you, and we'll
Mhm.
do Elton John, Bennie and the Jets for me. There's the first time I heard the Dusty Springfield song. It sounded like the Wall of Sound, but I guess it was just a Phil Spector acolyte who was doing it. It sounds great. It's a great song, and I've yet to get into Dusty Springfield. Is all her stuff this good?
It's not all this good, but there is a lot that is this good.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what other ones are you thinking of if you can off the top of your head?
One wishing and hoping just popped into my head. You don't have to say you love me, obviously. There's a couple Backrack ones that I'm blanking on right now, but yeah, the Backrack box set is well worth your listen if you don't know it. Um,
Yeah, gosh. I
Give
mean,
Me
any
Time, Give Me Time by Dusty is fantastic.
oh, cool. And so like we're all her songs kind of this sound of the Wall of Sound.
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh,
And I
that's
mean, then like in the 80s, she collaborated with the Pet Shop Boys on What Have I Done to Deserve This? And
really.
yeah,
Pet Shop Boys are wonderful.
they are.
Are they in?
Yeah.
They're not in.
Ooh, yeah, I wouldn't. I'd probably place money that they weren't in, though. I would definitely say they should be.
Yeah, I think one of the critics was like, oh, it's a crying shame this band isn't in. And I thought that one of them was Pet Shop Boys, and I tend to agree. I was just talking with my guitarist about that. Um, and so Elton John, Benny and the Jets, what did you think? It sounds like it's a live version. I don't know if that's just kind of studio magic.
I have never liked this song. Like,
Good. I love the
I
honesty. How come? And you like other Elton John, presumably, or we can't trust a single word you say.
no, I do. And
There you
again,
go.
I was thinking about it the other day. Like when I was 5, my mom gave me a record that had it was my first 12-inch record that I owned. It was Star Wars theme first, and Rocket Man was second. And Rocket Man just like brought me to this strange place. I still don't really understand that song, and it makes me feel strange feel like I love it, but like it takes me to like a special place like when you're 5 and you're kind of trying to understand stuff, and that song has never made much sense to me, but again I think it's a fantastic song.
But you just
I
hated it. You're listening to Star Wars theme, and then that song comes on. Oh
no,
gosh.
I mean something poppy like that was just amazing because
Rocket
yeah, and for some reason Benny and the Jets I've just I wrote something down for this.
The mohair suit. He read it in a magazine. You got to kind of like him building this caricature of this rock star or whatever, and the details you might not enjoy because it's a mohair suit. It's kind of
It's not anything he says, it's more just the delivery of the title. and then how the chord progression after just, I don't know,
But Benny and
irritates
you don't
me.
like Benny and the Jets, huh?
Yeah, it's too like, I don't know.
But the piano works well with it, and so I'll go to the next one that Elton John sung with, which is George Michael. They did "Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me," so I will
I
choose
actually
for.
have a good Dusty story that I'd like to tell
Oh
if
yeah,
you
yeah, bust out some Dusty.
about Stay a While.
Yeah.
In 2003, I was living in London. I had gone over to do some recording. I ended up living there for about 12 years, but this
Oh
was
my
like
gosh.
a short visit. And I fell in love with the city. And like I remember I was out shopping one day. I was in West London on the Portobello Road, and I found these two polka dotted teacups that I
Uh-huh.
fell in love with, and I bought them and I
Uh-huh.
brought them home and I put on Dusty's Stay a While. And I thought to myself, I want to start a band that sounds like today.
Okay. And
And
did you?
this became my band H Bird, and we worked with Saint Etienne's producer Ian Catt to
Oh
record the
really?
album Operation Fascination, and it does remind me of that. It was a perfect like cross between my love of 60s girl group stuff and like 80s synth pop.
And did you write lyrics and sing?
I wrote lyrics, my friend Kate sang, because I wanted a female singer, and yeah, we wrote a couple songs together.
And
I
it sounded
wrote,
like the teacup feeling.
yeah, it did,
It
and
was
I
the name of the album is Operation
Fascination.
Fascination. Is that on Spotify?
It's on everything except Spotify.
Oh my
I am
gosh,
not a
because you're
fan of
taking a
Spotify.
stand. H Bird.
Yeah.
What's the name of the group? H Bird and what?
The group is just H Bird.
Okay. And H Bird is taking a stand against Spotify.
Yeah, well, I am at least. I
Oh,
don't think
cool.
others.
Well, there you go. And so, yeah, where else? Like Apple Music, etc.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything else.
Because Apple has never done anything inappropriate
I
ever.
know, I know, I know. It's a
But I
tough
do. I love
call.
that. Yeah. So, yeah, George Michael, Freedom 90. What are you going to put against it? I guess Solomon Burke, Cry to Me.
Yeah, yeah. I guess
Now,
we're going
that's
it
the
right.
2 minute song that I was like, oh, damn, that's 2 minutes. That's all he needs.
Yeah, it's so good. And I remember that song like from when I was younger. Like I do love all that old soul stuff. But have you seen The Man from U.N.C.L.E. film?
No.
Okay. I love that film. I thought it was a great 60s spy pastiche.
Okay.
But Alicia Vikander in that dances to Cry to Me. And she trained as a dancer before she became an actress. And it is just a wonderful, wonderful scene. And when I saw that when it came out in 2015, this song like really hit. And I was working on a soul project at the time and like we never got around to playing live, but we would cover this in rehearsals. Like everything about this song, I love, it's
That
just the
must have been a
passion
recent
delivery.
movie. You're talking about the gorgeous Alicia Vikander
I am.
was dancing to Cry to Me.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going to have to
2015 this
see
came
that
out.
immediately.
Yeah. And she also dances to the German version of 99 Red Balloons in the Irma Vep TV series, which was the best thing I saw last year.
Can she dance? Was she in ballet or something?
Yeah, yeah, she trained, I think, as a ballet dancer for like years before she became an actress. And
Yeah, to put it professionally, she is very easy on the eyes.
she is wonderful.
But that's cool. Like, especially if you're a good dancer too. Like that would, I mean, I'd want to see Cry to Me with Alicia Vikander. And then, is there anything else that Solomon Burke did that was this short and wonderful? Because even when he said, "I'm crying," like that one time he hits that note, he could have went right back to it, but he didn't. He kind of like,
Yeah.
say he didn't beat that thing to death. He's like, "Here's the best note of the entire song. I'm going to hit it occasionally, and you're going to want to hear it again."
Yep, yep. I enjoy his other stuff. I Nothing is this good to me though.
Oh, good. Well, that's pretty much what everybody has to listen to then, because I didn't hear this before. And when I did it, I was like, okay, that sounds familiar. Maybe I have in a movie or something like that. But the fact that it was 2 minutes and it didn't overstay its welcome with, kind of its prized possession is when he hits that note and they prized it and treasured it and treated it appropriately and with respect. Now you have Van Halen Unchained, and I'll put that against Talking Heads. This must be the play's Naive
Ooh.
Melody. I love Van Halen, primarily because of, the riffs and the brown sound, the guitar tone, but
Mhm.
also David Lee Roth is just amazing. And some of their recent stuff was hilariously wonderful. Have you heard Stay Frosty?
Yep. Oh yeah.
That is the shit. That's my jam, Stay Frosty, man. I should have picked that one.
You should have.
Yeah, so I
Um,
mean, what do you think about each of them? I guess Eddie has died. David Lee Roth is still going. Are they still playing as a band or no?
not Sammy Hagar's doing a thing like where they do Van Halen songs,
All
but
right.
Dave is coming on a solo tour right now, and my entire family is taking me for my birthday.
Oh
My
my
birthday
God.
is next month, and then he's coming at the end of May, and we're all going, and it is going to be fantastic. Dave solo was my first ever show for the Eat 'em and Smile tour. I was 10. My older cousins took me, and it was like, life changing.
My gosh, it
Um,
must have been. Was he leaping around in spandex or no?
oh yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, and they were doing the guitar and bass battles, Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan running all around the stage. Um, Van
Yeah,
Halen,
because
I always,
He used Steve Vai during his solo stuff, right? Because yeah, we had a there was a guitar competition, and my guitarist won, so he got to open for Steve Vai.
oh, that's
And,
amazing.
and so it was actually a real kind of crowd. It was in Joliet, Illinois. And so they have a venue. There was hundreds of people, not thousands, but that was, of course, the most that my buddy had ever played for. And Steve Vai, of course, was great. And I just love that Van Halen was like, all right, we're breaking up Van Halen. I'm just going to get Steve Vai. What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah. No, he had to come out strong, and he did. Van Halen, like I always say, were my first love. Like they were what got me in what I've discovered on my own. Like I heard Pretty Woman on the radio, and then when 1984 came out, that was just huge. I think Unchained is the best rock song of all time. So like I don't think this
Nice.
one can be beat. I do really like Talking Heads, and of course that song is great. But I was talking to my brother-in-law yesterday. He's also a big Van Halen fan. And we were just saying how, the Rock Hall of Fame really only needs to have Van Halen in them.
That is great. Like something like Eruption, I'm not a big fan of because I think that, him as a shredder, it's like, we like him more because his riffs are amazing, his songwriting is
Yeah.
amazing, and his tone is amazing.
Yeah, the riffs were so catchy and wonderful. And like, I mean, some of the other solos, like Hot for Teachers, like this incredibly musical solo. But yeah, Eruption, I mean, at the time, I'm sure it blew everybody away.
Yeah. And then you're like, I'm just gonna go listen to my Van Halen album or my David Lee Roth album with Steve Vai. And even recently, Steve Vai came out with a song. Have you heard of M83?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the
yeah. He had a song like with Steve Vai actually featured on guitar on a song called "Go," I think, by M83, and it was off some of their, they got famous or whatever in the indie world, and then they put out this album that had that on. I was like, oh, good. It's good to see that he can fit in with the kids of today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that interview he did with Billy Corgan, which I thought was really interesting.
You're
Um,
saying Steve Vai was on Billy Corgan's?
yeah,
What's
yeah,
that? What's that podcast like?
Uh, it's good. Billy tends to talk a lot and like not as an interview, he could use some work. Like he kind of answers his own questions or
Is he
just,
talking about himself? Is he trying to work himself into a lot of it, or he just is yet to? He's not really figuring out how to serve up other people.
yeah, he works himself into a lot of, which is fine, but then he also will like kind of ask a lot of leading questions and let him just instead of just letting the guy answer.
Yeah, he's
But I
probably
really enjoyed the Steve Vai.
still scared of the answer. Yeah. So what does Steve Vai do on the Billy Corgan podcast? What did he say? That was you're like, yeah, I'll probably never see it because Billy Corgan with his own podcast, given its name and his art, I was like, not interested. Just because I love to hear Billy Corgan on something like Joe Rogan. I don't like Joe Rogan, but I turn it on just to hear what Billy would say about the music industry. But I'm not really that interested in his musical inspirations. But the fact that he brought on Steve Vais to his credit.
Yeah, and they went through Steve's entire career, and Steve is just like this incredibly humble person. I mean, he's, a killer player. But he talks about like um, just how, lucky he was, how like the universe like gifted him working with Dave, and how like it was obvious that Van Hagar succeeded because they had the songs, whereas he and Dave didn't,
Uh,
to sustain a career.
Dude, I love yeah, Van Hagar. But it's kind of cool when you because during his guitar show that I saw, Steve Vai was very big and theatrical, and I wonder if he picked up kind of how to be a bigger performer from Dave.
I think he touches on that because, yeah, it
Oh,
would
good.
stand to reason that he did. Dave is the ultimate
Yeah,
front man
yeah,
for what he
yeah.
does.
Because for a while there, you're just on stage and you're like, well, thank God I don't have to perform today because Dave is over there just like lighting up the arena. That's wonderful. And so the last one, yours is Kate Bush, Hounds of Love. Mine is Little Richard, Hurry Sundown. What can you say about yours or mine?
I hadn't heard Hurry Sundown. I love Little Richard. Um, I think he's fantastic. Like Tutti Frutti and Good Golly Miss Molly, just such great songs. They make you want to move. Hurry Sundown had a really lovely ending. For Hounds of Love, I mean, I just think this is just such a unique song. It always like hits me right in the guts. I love Kate Bush, and I think this is the one of the best things she ever did. And it's funny too, like she has like the wolf dog sounds in there, like on this fantastic pop
Yeah,
single. She
I
just does
noticed that
that
people are
stuff.
mentioning this chick, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, what is like another song called Babushka had like breaking glass in it, and I'm like, Yeah, there's some weird sounds in there. One thing I didn't like, I was listening to it lyrically because all her songs to me sound a little bit similar. They're all very good, it's a very good song. But they just don't seem different enough from each other, but they're all very good. And I thought lyrically at one point she talks about taking off her shoes, throw it in the lake and walking on water, or at least putting her feet on water, which would lead me to believe walking on water. But
Mhm.
the worst or the more eye-catching one, notably and not a good way, was she picked up a fox that had just been attacked by hounds or dogs and it's just, I don't know, she's bleeding in her hands. And I'm like, lady, that fox is going to chew your fucking face off. So maybe it's metaphorical, right?
Yeah,
Did
but
you
maybe
look twice at that lyric or am I getting
you
it
sh
wrong?
I mean, she's been okay for the past 40 years, but you should tell her this, you know.
Dude, lady, stop picking up the foxes. If they're injured, they might bite your face off.
Your luck's not going to last forever, cavefish, you know. Those fox have teeth.
Well, that's great. I'm gonna remind everybody where they can find your stuff. It's augstone, AUG stone.substack.com, and that's called the Counterforce. And that's where you're posting some of the longer, your pieces, but also you can be a little bit more detailed and in depth about the story behind it. You also have Augstone, the link tree. You have augstone.com. You have Aug X Stone on Instagram because some douche is squatting, some little girl is squatting on your fucking Augstone name. We're gonna buy it for $3, me and you. $1.50
All up to
each.
350.
$1.75 each. And then on X.com is Augstone. And on Bluesky, it is, yeah, augstone.bluesky.social. Augstone, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, thanks, Brian. This has been a blast.